Hey, y'all, Gary here with Tennessee Stands. And I didn't even take the time to put on a button-up shirt this morning because I have something I want to bring to your attention really quick. So someone just sent me this, and I'm pissed off, honestly. I'm frustrated on two levels. So apparently in Soddy Daisy, they're allowing this extremely mentally ill person, a mentally ill child from the looks of it, that needs some serious help. They're allowing this individual in Soddy Daisy, Tennessee, which is in the Chattanooga area, to substitute in class in our public schools. And I want to talk about that specific instance, but I also want to talk about quickly this post from Robbie Starbuck. And you can see he's got all these pictures, and here's what's happening, and there it is. But the problem is with folks like Robbie, and look, I'm going to talk very little about Robbie. This is about bashing Robbie, but what frustrates me about people like Robbie Starbuck is, if you're local, you know that he's partnered with Americans for Prosperity, who's pushing school choice. And what does that mean oftentimes for someone like Robbie, who's coordinating with a lobbying firm, but also has a national brand? Well, you don't say everything that needs to be said. Robbie does phenomenal work. I mean, there are a lot of things that Robbie's doing that's very positive in terms of attacking DEI and corporations. It's undeniable. But when it comes to his home here in Tennessee, he won't talk bad about the governor. He won't say things negative about the General Assembly or anybody else in leadership. Why? Well, because it ruins his brand. It damages his access. If he did that, like I do, he knows you don't get invited to the private functions. You don't get invited to the cool parties, and you certainly don't get an audience with the governor. And so, and maybe maybe that's a thing. Because I'll be honest, just so in case you weren't aware, I do not have an audience with Governor Bill Lee. I'm pretty sure the guy hates me, as well as many members in leadership in the General Assembly. But here's why, because here's the truth of things like this. Because while folks like Robbie and a lot of people across the state, we all agree that this is crazy. Like nobody in their right mind disagrees with the fact that a person like this should be nowhere near children. But let me make sure you understand the problem. And please hear me, don't turn me off. All of you listen to every word I'm about to say because it's important. Because what you're being told is that, well, you got to pass school choice. That's the fix, right? We can't fix the broken system because the teachers' unions are too powerful. And we just got to pass school. But what nobody's really telling you is that the current plan for school choice is only going to impact 2% of students. So the other 98% of our students are still subject to crap like this. So what do we do for the other 98%, the other 980,000 Tennessee students that are in public schools? What do we do for them to fix this kind of nonsense? Well, let me tell you, let me make sure you understand the landscape, okay? Because as much as the governor and as much as some of these leaders in the General Assembly like to tell you that this is all the problem of local runaway school boards and teachers unions, what they don't tell you is in Tennessee, I am working so hard to get people to understand this. In Tennessee, the General Assembly has all of the power to regulate public schools. Article 11, Section 12 of our Tennessee State Constitution gives the General Assembly, our legislature, and only the General Assembly, the power to maintain a free and public education system here in the state of Tennessee. In fact, here's what that means. School boards, again, please hear the words that are coming out of my mouth, because unfortunately a lot of people don't understand this, and you're placing the blame on the wrong people. Yes, teachers' unions suck, but they're not the ones that have all the power. It's the Republicans that you've elected in office. They're the ones that have all the power, okay? School boards exist only because the General Assembly says they can. That's the Constitution. The General Assembly created statutes that created school boards. School districts only exist because the General Assembly says they can. Every rule, every duty, every power that a school board member has, that a school superintendent has, is strictly defined by the General Assembly and by them only. The State Board of Education has been created by the General Assembly and must follow the General Assembly's laws, rules, and regulations. The State Department of Education has been created by the General Assembly. The Commissioner of Education position has been created by who? Guess who? The State General Assembly, who, by the way, the State General Assembly has put under the complete control of who? The governor. The governor, Governor Bill Lee, hires and fires by himself commissioners of education who oversee things like this. We had last year a bill filed just to make sure that pride flags could not be displayed in our schools. And guess what? It failed. Do you realize that? That's not the teachers' union's fault. And school choice won't fix that. You have a General Assembly, 80% of which is filled by Republicans who could not vote to pass a bill that gets pride flags out of the classrooms. Meanwhile, we bitch and moan and hem and haw about crap like this going on in school districts like Soddy, Daisy, Tennessee, a fairly rural district, by the way. And we allow stuff like this to happen, and we blame it on the teachers' unions. And then what? Then people like Robbie Starbuck and Americans for Prosperity say, well, we got to fix this. The school system's broken. We got to pass school choice. Do you see how that works? I'm trying. Are you following me? Oh my God! Look what's happening in the public schools. It's horrible. But we can't fix it. We have to pass school choice. What I'm telling you is, what you need to hear me say is that today, right now, Governor Bill Lee, who hires and fires the Commissioner of Education, who works with the State Board of Education, who determines everything that a local school board and a local school superintendent can and can't do, can fix this today. This idiot, this poor, misled, unfortunate soul has no First Amendment right to do this in front of your children. He absolutely does not. Not employed by the state of Tennessee. An employer has every right in the world to fire someone for being a moron, especially when they endanger your children, and that has zip to do with anyone's First Amendment rights. That's how we understand any other job. Do you know that your employer in the state of Tennessee can fire you for any reason? Because we're an employment at will state. You have no rights if your employer wants to fire you. It's their right to fire you. Well, the state of Tennessee and local school districts have that same right. They don't owe you a job. You can fire this guy tomorrow. The governor can demand that this guy be fired tomorrow. The Commissioner of Education can demand that this guy be fired tomorrow. And guess what? When the General Assembly comes back into session in January, they can pass laws that make absolutely damn sure that people like this don't get a job working for school districts in the state of Tennessee. But unfortunately, that's not what the talking heads tell you. What they're telling you is, well, you got to pass school choice. I mean, look how horrible this is, Tennessee. This is just terrible. How can we allow this to happen? We don't need to pass school choice. What we need to do is we need to have men and women in leadership that you and I elect that do their job. I'm so sick of seeing things like this and hearing from the pundits and the talking heads that we have to do this other thing because leaders in Tennessee apparently have no power. All of the power in terms of your child's education lies with the teachers' unions. Somehow the governor just, I don't know what happened. I lost all of my power. All of my constitutional authority is gone because of the teachers' unions and George Soros. I'm here to tell you, understand hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. They are lying to you. And this stuff can be pulled out of your school districts tomorrow, but they won't do it. And what you need to be asking yourself is, why? And every time you have the opportunity to get in front of an elected legislator, you need to be asking them, why is this bullshit in my school district? And why can't you get it? Well, don't let them do that crap. Make them stand there and answer the question, why can't they get this out? Because, like I said, just last year, they had an opportunity to remove gay flags out of schools, and they couldn't do that. It was just a bridge too far. It's too challenging. And so you're stuck with stuff like this. And what I'm trying to get you to understand, everyone that's supporting this school choice nonsense with your tax dollars, that does not fix this. It does not get this out of our public school system. The General Assembly and this god-awful governor can fix this tomorrow, but they won't. And what I want to know is why. Why will you not stand up for our kids and get this stuff out of, I don't know about you. That's why I homeschool my children, by the way. But we've got 1 million kids in the public school system that need someone to fight for them and care about their future. Why won't our elected leaders do that? It's on them. This needs to be fixed. This guy should be fired tomorrow. End of story. That's all I've got for today.